Hey guys, what's up? Tori here. And should I just say hola? Because I am long back from Costa Rica. I got back last week Friday, so actually a week ago today I got back home at like 4:30 in the morning on Friday. Back to my house. We were actually back like in the United States at around 11 o'clock at night, Chicago time. So that's an hour behind um, back where I live. But yeah, so we were back in then we had to drive home from Chicago back here to Michigan where I live. So that was about a 3 hour-ish drive, 3-4 hour drive roughly. We did make like one brief stop too, like just to get something to drink and some snacks because we were all like really thirsty and stuff. But I just want to do this video just to talk to you guys a bit about my Costa Rica trip because it was absolutely amazing. It was an amazing, amazing, amazing trip. I loved every moment of it. It was phenomenal. Like, the country itself is so beautiful. Like, the views everywhere is amazing. Like, mountains and hills, and I mean, it is the dry season there right now, so like not everything like is super green in all areas, but like still like it's gorgeous, and it's so warm down there too. Like there were a couple days where it was like in the 90s. There were days where it was more comfortable, where it was like, 70s, 80s. But it was so gorgeous. Like everywhere, it was so beautiful, and the people down there are like, everyone down there, all the Costa Ricans like that we interacted with and met, like everybody was just so happy and welcoming and like made you feel right at home. And the big saying down there is pura vida, which literally translated means pure life, but Costa Ricans say that basically just to like be like, live happy. It's almost like a live long and prosper kind of saying in Costa Rica. And just to like really live, like being like, hey, live your life to the fullest, have fun, like be happy, like live with a pura vida lifestyle. And like everyone there just is happy all the time. Like you would never, like even if people are going through struggles down there, like you would never know it because everyone just acts so happy and so joyous like all the time. Like, and everyone's so hospitable and kind. Like it is just amazing. And the language barrier thing, like it is a struggle depending on where you go, but I was actually very surprised by how many places we went to that there was at least someone that spoke at least a little bit of English or understood a little bit of English. And my pastor Tito, who was born and raised in Costa Rica and is initially from there, like he said it actually is becoming much more common for people to learn English because it helps them get better jobs and stuff. So for people to be bilingual down there is becoming more common. So that really was pretty pleasantly surprising. And I also was surprised by how much of like, I took 2 years of Spanish in high school because I was required to. And like, it kind of amazed me like how much of that kind of like came back to me while I was down there. Like it was kind of crazy. I mean, I am not fluent by any stretch of the imagination. I know like some basic phrases and words and things like that. Like, so I was able to kind of like communicate like small things here and there, but like I'm definitely not fluent by any stretch of the imagination. And because like they taught, when you're fluent in it, you can speak it so fast. Like when they say it so fast, like I can't always catch enough out of the sentence to be like, oh, okay, what was it you said? Like if they go slower, then I can pick more things out of it. But yeah, so that was an experience too, the whole language barrier. And the food down there, oh my gosh, guys, the food, especially, okay, this is going to be coming from a weight loss surgery patient. Everything I had was so good, like tasted amazing. Like the food down there is so good. But from a weight loss surgery patient perspective, like, oh, it was so much food. And like none of it was really the healthiest. Like I tried very hard to eat as healthy as I could down there, but it was difficult. It was difficult because there really wasn't a lot like healthy to have. Like, I tried, I really did, but it was difficult. Because the common staple is rice and beans. I ate quite a bit of rice and beans, guys. And eggs are a main staple for breakfast. I had eggs every day, which is good because I love eggs. Like, I have no problem with eating eggs. I can eat eggs every day, no issue. And so and it's good protein, so at least I knew I was able to get at least some decent protein in at breakfast. But then, like, rice and beans, they literally have rice and beans for every meal down there. They don't care. It's served for breakfast, lunch, dinner. They don't care. They serve it a lot. But I mean, I tried a lot of other different foods, and the fruit down there is so good, especially, oh, the mango, guys, the mango down there. Up here, back in Michigan, I don't like mango whatsoever. Like, I've eaten mango here and didn't like it. Down there, like, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try mango in Costa Rica. Maybe I'll actually like it better. And like, I tried it and I was like, this is so freaking amazing. Like, it's so sweet and juicy, and oh, the fruit down there is a bazillion times better than anything here. Like, that is for sure. So I did enjoy the fruit, and I definitely did, you know, experiment with trying different things too while I was down there. You know, I would take tastes of things, and I would, you know, I'm like, this is the only time in my life I'm probably going to be in Costa Rica. Like, I gotta live it and try things and do things. So I did try little bits of everything. I also really hate refried beans up here. Like, I don't like refried beans, but there was refried beans that I had down there that were super good. I was like, whoa, if I could eat refried beans like this, I'd actually probably enjoy them once in a while. But I definitely had lots of different Hispanic foods. I had fajitas, I had quesadillas, I had, you know, you name it, I had it down there. But it was all really good. Plantains, sweet plantains, oh, fried sweet plantains are so good too. I tried those, really liked those. But yeah, there was lots of different things I tried that was really good. As far as experiences go, I'm just gonna say, like, we started out, when we first got to Costa Rica, we stayed at a hotel in San Jose. And then when we woke up the next day, we started traveling to our beach location, which we actually stayed in Quepos, but where the actual beach was, it was in Manuel Antonio. But we stayed in Quepos because it was cheaper, and Quepos actually was like a beautiful little like town to stay in, which was right along the ocean as well. So it was great. But and then on our way to Quepos, we actually stopped and did a little like river jungle safari boat tour, which just took, like, we went on this little boat down a river, and like we saw crocodiles and all kinds of birds and wildlife. It was so cool, so fun. And then we got there, then we got to our hotel in Quepos, and that was Friday, and then it was on Saturday that we actually had our full beach day. So we went to Manuel Antonio, and we actually went to Manuel Antonio National Park, where we were able to walk and see some animal, like we saw some deer, we saw a sloth, we saw some lizards, and then we actually went to the actual beach, to the ocean, and oh, guys, the ocean is amazing down there. It was so much fun, so much fun. Enjoyed the beach immensely, and went back later that evening and had some great times in the evening at the hotel with my church group. We played Uno and laughed so hard. It was so much fun. And then Sunday we left Quepos to go head back to San Jose, to go to my church's sister church, which also happens to be the church that my pastor Tito grew up going to, and also where his dad preaches. His dad is the pastor of, which is Iglesia Tepeyac. And so that was a really cool experience to see. And we saw like the whole neighborhood and area where my pastor grew up, the school, which is the elementary school, the Christian elementary school, which is like connected to the church. So we walked through there and saw the school, and we attended church, which was so great. Worshiping with those people too. Like, they just worship with their full heart and soul. And that was so amazing to experience too, and get to experience, you know, like two different cultures coming together and worshiping together. It was such an amazing thing and so fun. And my pastor Tito, he actually preached that morning, and he preached both in Spanish and in English, so that way us Americans could understand the sermon too. But we sang all the songs in Spanish, which was fun. I mean, we do sing some songs in Spanish at my church too, because we are a bilingual church at my church. but it was fun to sing them all in Spanish. Like I had fun with that. It was a cool experience. So we did that and had lunch at that church too. And then after that, we went to a coffee plantation to have a coffee tour because Costa Rican coffee is a big deal. It, I guess, is like the most amazing coffee. I don't like coffee whatsoever, so for me it makes no difference, but everyone else in the group was like, it's the most amazing coffee ever. And the owner of the coffee plantation was this older guy who was just a hoot. He was such a character, and it was so much fun. As a whole group, we had a ton of fun. We walked through the plantation, and we tried this fruit called cas. It is so sour. I didn't like it whatsoever. Everyone got some great pictures of me trying it. I'm pretty sure someone captured video footage too. I made some good faces, what can I say? It was, I didn't like it whatsoever, but lots of laughs, lots of good times. And then from there, we went to the hotel in San Jose, we got settled, and we had dinner that night, and oh my gosh, we were all so like tired and slap happy at dinner. Like, I hadn't laughed so hard in so long. We laughed ridiculously hard a lot. We just had so much fun. Like, there was so much laughter. We grew very much closer as a group. And then Monday was when we went through Monteverde. Monteverde ended up being a little bit of a bust because Monteverde is up in the mountains and in the rainforest. And it was much colder there. And it was pouring buckets. It was raining. We still, like, we walked the hanging bridges in Monteverde, but it was so cold and rainy. Like, we like sprinted through them, and I also got so freaking cold. I barely remember half of the hike. That's a whole nother story. I won't get into that here, but I barely remember half of that. We were so freaking cold, and wet and rainy, so that ended up being a bit of a bust. I wanted to do the zip lining there, but I ended up just not being able to. There was only a couple people that actually ended up going ziplining because it was so cold and rainy. And by cold, I mean it was probably like upper 40s, low 50s, but because the rain was cold too, it made it feel colder than what it was. So yeah, it ended up being kind of a dud day, which was kind of a bummer, but we still saw, I mean, it was still cool to see the whole rainforest area and what the rainforest is truly like. I mean, it's the rainforest, guys. There's going to be rain. But then the next day in Monteverde, we went, and it actually was nicer the next day. The sun came out. It was a little bit warmer, a little bit nicer. So we walked like the town in Monteverde in the morning, and then in the afternoon we headed over to Arenal, which is where the Arenal volcano is. And we got to hike over at the volcano, and our hotel over there was amazing, and it was in the rainforest as well. That's also rainforest area, but it was a much warmer area because of the volcano. Like, it was much more tropical feeling over there. It was much warmer. We got to hike the volcano, which was so fun. We got to enjoy some hot springs, which was amazing. Like, that was honestly the highlight for me. It was Arenal and the volcano and the hot springs. That was all a highlight for me. It was amazing. And the rainforest was so cool. Like, going to sleep to the sounds of the rainforest and waking up in the morning to the sounds of the rainforest was amazing. And we saw all kinds of wildlife. We saw monkeys, we saw all kinds of cute little critters and birds, and it was so phenomenal. And the views are just gorgeous too. Like, it was so magical, so amazing. And then when we left El Reno the next day, we headed back to San Jose, which is where we ended up then going into like the city and going to the market. We shopped at the market, and then we were back at our hotel in San Jose. And then we left the next day from San Jose to go back to the airport to come home. But the whole trip was just so amazing. I grew so close to such an amazing bunch of people from my church. I developed forever lasting bonds and relationships with them. God really opened my eyes to a whole new culture, and it was just amazing and beautiful. And for me too, personally, like, it was such a dream come true, because I was able to do things I never thought I'd ever be able to do. I mean, climbing the volcano was a highlight for me, because I did that hike and climbed to the top, and I felt like I was on top of the world. Like, I was like, I did it. I barely got winded. I mean, a little bit winded because the air is thinner when you're up at an elevation in the mountains like that. So, I mean, I was a little winded, but not like anything crazy. and I was able to get my breath back pretty quick, and I did great, and I felt like on top of the world. I was like, I am strong, I'm a muscle woman, I feel great. Like, it was an amazing thing, amazing feeling, and I loved it. Like, it made me feel so great, and it just, for me, was like, this is just a testimony of how far I have come. The fact that I'm able to do this and able to go on a trip like this and enjoy every moment of it, and like, I had energy to spare at the end of every day. Like, I didn't feel dead tired, exhausted at the end of every day. Like, I felt like I could continue to do more at the end of every day. Like, I mean, I was tired enough that I was able to go to bed at the end of every day, no problem, but like, I didn't feel dead exhausted where I felt like I had to go to bed like super early or anything. Like, I had energy to spare, and I was able to enjoy everything and do everything, and my weight wasn't an issue, my health wasn't an issue. Like, I felt like a normal human being, and I felt amazing. I did. It was beyond amazing. Like, it was such a good trip for me, and it was such a dream come true thing, and I cannot say enough about it. And I mean, I got fun souvenirs like this in this baggie here. This is colones. This is actually the Costa Rican currency. The actual American amount of money that this is worth that I have left is probably, it might be fairly close to $10, but I don't even think it's quite that. I think it's probably a little less than $10 that this is left, that I have left here. So it's not even worth exchanging it back over to American money. I just am going to keep that as a little souvenir. Like, I mean, and I have other souvenirs. Like, I have a Costa Rica map that I brought back. I have my ticket from the Manuel Antonio National Park. This is the little bird guide from our safari boat tour that we did. This is actually a map of the Arena Lodge Hotel that we stayed at. And I hung on to that, and this is from the Tabacon Hot Springs. We had to have little wristbands when we were there, and I hung on to that even because I'm a dork like that. I actually did get a Costa Rica shirt as a souvenir too, and I brought home some Costa Rican chocolate because it was so good. And I also do have this, which is this is a henna tattoo. It's already pretty faded because henna, it's been over a week now, and henna doesn't last forever. Like, it's not permanent, but it just says Pura Vida and then has the volcano on it. I got that done. Like, it was overall a blast, an amazing experience. I did post a couple pictures to Instagram. I might maybe sporadically once in a while post more Costa Rica pictures if I feel inspired, but it overall was an amazing experience, guys. It was so worth it. I was really sad to leave because I enjoyed it so much, but I was also yet ready to come home and see my fiance and my family and friends again, and coworkers and kids at work and all that. I missed the people back home. So that I was ready to see everybody again. That I was ready for. I wasn't ready to leave such a beautiful place and all the fun I was having, but I was ready to see everyone back home again and that kind of thing. And I was ready to get my body back on track with normal eating and stuff too. So I was ready for that as well. But yeah, I'm going to end that here. If you guys have any questions for me about anything about my trip, please feel free to leave them in the comment section. I'd be happy to answer. If there are any like further stories you want me to tell, if you want me to go into like individual detailed stories of each like day of the trip, I can do that too. Let me know in the comments if you want to hear more details about each thing we did, and I'd be happy to share too more stories. So yeah, I will end it there. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.